Good evening to you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. In this lab, which is Lab 2, Composition of a Mixture, the objectives of this lab are to understand a mixture, that a mixture is made up of several entities, and to separate a mixture and to come up with a percent of the sand in this mixture. Right? The equipment we'll be using is a scale as you see in front of you, either a paper or plastic cup. Today I will be using a plastic cup, some dry sand and some salt, a coffee filter. If you do not have a coffee filter, you are more than welcome to use a paper towel. That will work just fine. I happen to have grabbed a strainer. Your graduated cylinder, you'll be using that. And I happen to be using a bowl to help the separation. And lastly, a disposable pie plate. You don't have to use a disposable pie plate. I just know my wife would not appreciate it if I got some sand on one of her cookware. Alright, so let's begin. Let's be sure that the scale is on. Alright. And we're going to want to zero the scale or tare the scale. Next, we'll place our cup or plastic cup, plastic or paper cup onto the scale, and we're going to want to report this mass on the data table under where it says mass of paper cup. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to be placing the mixture into the cup. And so that would be the sand and the salt. And once again, we're going to report this mass of the cup, the sand, and the salt, and we're going to be placing this under the table or under the column in the table, mass of cup plus mixture, because the mixture is going to be the salt and the sand. Next, what we'll do is we'll use our graduated cylinder and we'll measure out 40 milliliters of water. So put the 40 milliliters into the cup. All right. Now it doesn't matter whether you mass this or not, and we're going to stir this as such until all the salt dissolves. I'm going to move the scale so I don't get that wet. Next, what we're going to want to do, oops, I forgot something. Next, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to mass our paper filter or a coffee filter. So we'll mask the coffee filter, and we're going to report that in our table where it says mass of coffee filter. All right, so you want to report that. We're going to move the scale, and let's put the coffee filter into our strainer. This is where the bowl is going to be very handy, so it will catch the liquid. Zoom out a little bit so we can see that a little bit better. Alright. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take our mixture and we are going to pour it into the coffee filter. Now, if you're having a hard time getting all of that out, what you can do is you can use a little dropper to get the remaining portions of the salt and sand mixture out of solution. All right, there. And we're going to let that drain for a little bit. So we have let the mixture drain in the coffee filter and strainer for about 5 minutes, and you can see it's still wet sand. Now what has happened is that the water has dissolved the salt. And so when we strain the water through this, the salt went with the water through the coffee filter and left wet sand. So what we've done is we've separated the mixture of salt and sand. Now, what we can do is we can either one of two things. You can either let this filter sit out overnight and let it dry, because what we want to do is we want to obtain a mass of dry sand, not wet sand. All right? Or If you don't want to let it do that, what you can do is you can place it in one of these pie plates. My wife had one of these sitting around, so I selected one of these pie plates. And you can put it in the oven for about 25 minutes and wait for it to dry. Alright, now that we've taken the sand out of the oven, it is now completely dry. It's been drying for about 25 minutes at 250 degrees Fahrenheit. What we can do now is we're going to want to mass the filter and the sand. So we're going to get a mass of the filter and the sand. Be sure to turn your scale on and to tare it before you do this. And what you're going to want to do now is you're going to want to report this mass of the sand. Now that you know the mass of the sand, you can take the mass of the sand divided by the mass of the mixture, and from that you'll get the percentage of sand in that mixture. Now when it comes to disposal, what you want to do is be sure to throw the sand in the trash, not down the drain. The sand is terrible for drains. I hope this has helped you out. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know, and have a good day.